Good evening, my name is Claire and this is my travel channel, Claire's Footsteps. So tonight I am taking the night train to Cornwall. The Paddington to Penzance sleeper train is an 8-hour night train that runs from Paddington in West London all the way down to Penzance, which is in far west Cornwall. It's the furthest southwest station that you get in the whole of the UK. So it's a really cool experience. It leaves at about 10 to midnight and it arrives in Penzance at 8 in the morning. So it just takes just over 8 hours to go the whole distance, and you get your own cabin. Because I'm travelling on my own, I have my own sleeper cabin, but there are also double occupancy cabins available. I've taken night trains all over the world, but I've never taken one in the UK before. In fact, I think there are only two. There's this one and there's the Caledonian sleeper, which runs all the way from London to Aberdeen. So I'm really excited to see what a night train in the UK is like. I've just arrived at Paddington, and apparently people who are travelling on the Night Riviera sleeper can get access to the first class GWR lounge here. So I'm just about to go check that out now. It looks like it's already here actually. It's this train behind me here. But I am going to go check out the lounge first just to see what it's like, and I think there's some free food and drink there as well. Okay, so the train is actually already boarding and they've already closed down the lounge for today, but they did let me in just to take a couple of videos and pictures, so I'll explain that in a moment. I'm just going to try and find my cabin. So I'm at coach E, which is where my cabin is. So let's try and find it now. Okay, so coach E.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. Thank you. Okay, so I found my room. I've taken night trains all over the world, and this is actually the first time that I've ever had a room all to myself, so this feels very bougie. I'll do a room tour in a minute, and the steward has just came and explained everything, so that's good. I have an idea of where everything is and everything that I need to do. I just wanted to explain the lounge that I just went in. So they were actually closing up, and they're saying, you know, you can board the train now, and there's a lounge car, which I'm going to go to in a minute, where you can get refreshments and soft drinks free of charge. But what was really cool was the first class lounge there used to be Queen Victoria's private lounge before she boarded trains at London Paddington, and there is still some of the original sort of detailing from the Victorian period there, which was really awesome. So there's one lounge which is a little bit more old-fashioned, which was Queen Victoria's private waiting room, and then there's another more modern, more functional lounge, but they're actually refurbishing that at the moment, which is why they closed a bit early today and said just go onto the train and go to the restaurant cart and there'll be stuff there. Right, so I think I'm going to go check out the restaurant cart now, see what that's all about, and then I'll come back here and do a tour before I go to bed. But it's actually quite good that I've been able to board early, because I can kind of check everything out and you know, video everything, so I've got a full video, but also hopefully get a good night's sleep. So this is my card, and apparently the doors just lock, so I don't need to do anything. I just need to, yeah, just need to close the door. Alright, I'm in the restaurant. I have a hot chocolate and some biscuits. And yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Spacious, quite modern, and the hot chocolate and biscuits and tea and coffee are free if you want to come.
She said, oh, it's brilliant, she said.
So I just thought quickly before I went back to my cabin, I thought I'd just have a quick look at the seats and just see what they're like, just so I can get the contrast, because the seats are a lot cheaper. Actually, I think it would only cost me about £25 to just have a seat, but obviously it's not as comfortable a sleeping experience as the sleeper itself. So as you can see, do have quite a bit of room. I'd say it's probably more spacious than the standard GWR train seats. I've been on a lot of them, so I can compare them quite well. But obviously you're sleeping on it, so it's not going to be anywhere near as comfortable as the actual sleeper cabins, but very cheap. I think it would have cost me about £25 with a rail card. So getting from London to Cornwall for £25 is very affordable. Okay, so if you travel by train quite a lot in the UK, you definitely need a rail card. There are quite a few rail cards that you can get. You can get an age one if you are not between the ages of 31 and 60. So I'm turning 30 in a couple of weeks, so I'm nearly in my last year of being able to have one through age. However, there are some other ways that you can get one even if you are aged between 31 and 60. You can get a 2 together rail card, which gives you a discount when you travel with one other person. It always has to be the same person, but you can have more than one 2 together rail cards, if that makes sense. You can also get regional rail cards depending on where you live, so you can get Devon and Cornwall rail cards, which obviously cover Devon and Cornwall, or I think you can get like a network rail card which covers areas in the southeast, and there's a few others as well. So there's quite a lot of different ones to look into. It costs about £30, although you can even get cheaper than that. Sometimes Trainline have sales, and sometimes you can get different deals with club cards, like Tesco club cards and things like that. So it's definitely worth checking out all of the different deals. But as soon as you get one, you save a third off your rail fares, which is such a savings. And I've gotten quite a lot of trains this year, and I've definitely more than made my money back. I think I made my money back with the first train I took. So this train, the ticket cost me £25, but then I paid another £40 or so for the sleeper service. I'm not sure if that was a railcard price or the standard price. I think maybe it was the railcard price, because that sounds quite affordable for a sleeper. So just a little rundown of what happened when I boarded the train. So I didn't actually show my ticket at all to get onto the platform, because it leaves from platform 1, which is where the lounge is. There's not actually any barriers here. So I just boarded the train and found my cabin. As soon as I came in here, I was only in there about 5 minutes, and someone knocked on the door, and it was the train attendant who explained the whole room, and he checked my ticket and I was in the right cabin, which is good. So my key card was just on the side here, and he showed me everything, which I'll show you in a second, and said that I can go to the restaurant cart, which I just did, to get a hot chocolate or another drink and biscuits and that kind of thing, which are all free of charge. Oh, and in the morning, the train gets into Penzance at 7:54. I thought it was 8:04 for some reason, but no, it's 7:54. So it takes literally just over 8 hours. I think it's like 8 hours and 4 minutes to get there. So they do a wake up service at 7 a.m. So he's going to knock at 7 a.m. and you can put like a breakfast order in. So they had 3 things. They had a bacon roll, porridge, or a croissant. So I got a croissant and a black coffee. So that's perfect. So I'll have something to eat before I get off the train. So I guess it's time for a little cabin tour. So these cabins can fit 1 or 2 people. At the moment it's only made up for 1 person, but if someone else was here, then this would be pulled down and it would turn into another bed. But you only share cabins with people you're travelling with. So if you're travelling on your own, then you pay the single supplement to have it on your own. The bed feels pretty comfy, sheets are nice and fresh. There's a small towel here. I guess that's just like a face towel. There aren't any showers on board, but there are showers here, I think, and at Penzance. So you can have a shower if you want. I guess this is how to get up to the top bunk, but you can't pull it down like they set it up especially, so I won't be able to see what that looks like. So here there is a light and all of the plugs, light switches, USBs, UK plugs. There's another lot of plug sockets up there, so you definitely can charge all of your devices. This is the temperature control, and I might actually turn it down a little bit because it feels a bit warm in here. Okay, and then this, I'm going to try and video this, but it turns into a sink. Okay, so you just like lift it up and there's a sink there, which is pretty cool. I didn't have any idea that that was hiding away there. There's a litter bin underneath here, mirrors on either side, and then there's a wardrobe here where I've already hung my coat. There's storage space up here and a little more storage space underneath the bed. Alright, so we've just left the station and I'm just gonna wash my face and then get ready for bed. En route to Cornwall. I've just got ready for bed and I'm just about to go and see what the toilets are like. I presume they'll be exactly the same as the toilets on any other GWR train, but let's go see. The toilets are a little bit more spacious actually than they normally are in GWR trains, so that's good, and it smells very clean. Just got a sink, toilet and soap dispenser and hairdryer. So I'm all ready for bed. The first stop is actually Exeter, which is like really near to where I live. I'm literally going to Penzance like for the day and then getting the train back to Exeter later tomorrow, but I just really wanted to try the sleeper train out. And I thought it was a good excuse to, because I had to travel from London back west anyway, even if I am really overstepping it and then going back. But yeah, it does get into Exeter for like 3 hours. So I think it must like dwindle quite a bit. It must go quite slow at some points, because you can get from London to Exeter in like 2 hours 10 minutes. And that's, you know, when it stops at a couple of places as well. So it must take a slower route, which is very nice, because it's good that it does take a full 8 hours, so you can actually get like a good night's sleep. I definitely think it's better that it gets to Penzance at nearly 8 AM rather than like 6 AM, because otherwise you just feel so tired and everything would be shut. The bed seems really comfy and it seems to get very dark. I just tested all the lights and it seems like it's like completely blackout. I have got my eye mask and my earplugs, but I might not even need them. So yeah, I think I'm going to get some shut eye now and I will report back in the morning. Good night. Just pulled up into Truro station. It is 7:18 AM, so there's still another half hour until we get to Penzance. I think it stops in, if this is the main line, it stops in quite a few places after Truro. It goes to Camborne, Redroof and St Earth, which is where you can change for a train to St Ives. I think it stops at all the same stations, but I can let you know. I had a knock on my door at like 7 AM and they dropped off coffee and this pastry and some biscuits. So I've got a bit of breakfast, which is good. It looks like the pastries are from a bakery in Plymouth, so they must get them when they go through Plymouth, which is quite cool. So yeah, just gonna get ready now, have something to eat and pack up, and I should be ready for when the train pulls into Penzance. Alright, so we are at Redroof station. The train's being very noisy up there, but hopefully you can hear me alright. I've got my coffee, so I've got about 20 minutes until we arrive in Penzance. So I'm gonna have my coffee and my pastries now, and I've got to freshen up a little bit, but I might actually do that in Penzance station, because there is a lounge that we can use as cabin, guests with a cabin. So I'm going to go check that out anyway, so I might freshen up there once I arrive there, so I can spend the last 20 minutes just enjoying my train cabin, watching the world go by. So I thought I'd just explain about how well I slept and how the night was in general. So I slept okay. The bed is very, very comfy, a lot comfier than other sleeper trains around the world, but it is very narrow, which meant like if you move around a lot in your sleep, you might wake up quite a lot, which is what happened to me. But I slept pretty decently. I always sleep quite well on trains, to be honest. We're just pulling into Camborne now, I think. Yeah, we're just pulling into Camborne now. So yeah, the sleep was decent. I just woke up quite a few times. But you know, if you're a good sleeper generally, it will probably be all right. And yeah, all good. I put my phone on charge. That charged up fully overnight. It wasn't too noisy. I did have my earplugs in, and if you do get distracted by noises when you sleep, I probably would recommend earplugs, just because, you know, it's a train, so there's going to be some noises. But it wasn't too bad. If you're alright with like white noise when you sleep, then you might be okay. I also had my mask on, but I'm really sensitive to light when I sleep. I wear my mask every night, so if you are fine in a normal like hotel room, then you shouldn't need a mask, because there are proper blackout blinds and everything. Obviously it's quite dark at the moment because it's January still, but in the summer it obviously gets light a lot earlier, but these blinds would block out all the sunlight, I think, so I think that would be okay. And yeah, I don't know if there's that much else to report really. The toilets were all fine. and yeah, got a knock at the door about 7 o'clock, which is when they said they'd knock at the door, and they have exactly the breakfast I ordered, black coffee and some pastries. So yeah, absolutely no complaints really. It's been a really nice little day. To be honest, I do enjoy a long train, and I'd quite happily stay on for longer, but obviously the train can't go on for any longer because it is in the far southwest of the UK. But yeah, no, it's been very enjoyable, and it's been really nice having a cabin to myself, and you know, just sort of having my own little bubble. It feels a little bit like capsule hotels or something like that, but a kind of bigger scale of it, and obviously you're moving as well. So I think there's about 10 minutes now until we get to Penzance. So I'm just going to finish off my breakfast, make sure everything's packed, and then yeah, I guess get off the train, see what the lounge is like, and plan my day. I am going back to where I live at about 2 or 3 today, so I'm not in Penzance for that long. I was mainly doing this trip to do the night train. Right, we are actually running a little bit late, which I mean I don't mind at all, because get to spend a little bit more time in the cabin, but we just departed St Earth. St Earth is where you would want to get off if you were going to St Ives. From there it's a really short, about 10-minute train journey to St Ives. It's really beautiful as well. It's one of the most beautiful train journeys in Europe, just going sort of along St Ives Bay. So if you do want to take the sleeper train to St Ives, it's very possible. Also, if you want to take it to Newquay, you need to get off at Parr, but that's over in East Cornwall, and it's from there, it's about a half-hour train to Newquay. I'm not sure what time the train stopped in Parr, but it would have been a bit earlier on, probably around 6 AM, maybe 6:30. I can look all of the train times up, and I'll include them in my blog post, which will be linked below. So I'll explain all of those kind of things in that. So yeah, just we're going south at the moment, getting towards Penzance, and then yeah, I'll disembark the train, check out the lounge. I also want to see if I can find somewhere to store my bags for a few hours, because I have a big bag and I do want to do a bit of a hike. So it would be ideal if I could find somewhere to leave it. If not, I have hiked with heavier bags than this before, but it would be better if I could leave it, definitely. So yeah, that's the plan. Just enjoy a bit of the scenery for the next 10 minutes, and then we will arrive in Penzance. So this is Mount Spey now, which is where Penzance is on, so we will be there in just a couple of minutes.